Zuckerberg, would you be comfortable sharing with us the name of the hotel you stayed in last night?
No.
If you've messaged anybody this week, would you share with us the names of the people you've messaged?
Senator, no, I would probably not choose to do that publicly here.
I think that may be what this is all about. Your right to privacy, the limits of your right to privacy, and how much you give away in modern America in the name of, quote, connecting people around the world. A question basically of what information Facebook's collecting, who they're sending it to, and whether they ever asked me in advance my permission to do that. Is that a fair thing for a user of Facebook to expect?
Yes, Senator. I think everyone should have control over how their information is used.
Judy, are you high?
Wait, you took notes and you wanted to watch it before we can discuss it? I have the trailer right here.
Yeah, but fuck the trailer. Well, you can play the trailer. Let's hear it. I didn't even watch the trailer.
How long have you been in the system?
I was about 14. I've been in OR since then.
I was 12. I was 15 years old. I got 50 more. Kids who touch the system at a young age have a greater chance of serving serious time just a few years later.
He was currently on probation for burglary, F2, and carrying concealed weapon, this being his third time on probation.
Ever since I was young, out there, 7, 8, 9 on the block, selling drugs. To me, if I don't change the way I'm thinking, I'm going to be somewhere worse than here or probably dead.
He's cute too.
With over 850,000 juvenile arrests a year and 48,000 kids sitting in lockup daily, the U.S. has the highest incarceration rate of kids on earth. The arrest rates for many crimes like murder, robbery, and car theft peak in late teenage years and then begin to fall drastically. For many incarcerated people across the country, their troubles with crime, violence in the system started when they were young.
How many people came to prison at a very young age? I want you to raise your hand. Think about that. Think about that.
We can't reform criminal justice without reforming juvenile justice, because there's almost nobody who's locked up in prison
As an adult,
who wasn't doing stuff
stupid when they were young.
Okay.
I did make a crime, and that I know I do gotta pay the price. Yes, sir. But the cost, we never thought it'd be the rest of my life.
I can't watch shows like that. Okay,
Welcome
so
to Mixed Greens.
yeah. Okay.
Right, anyway.
So, alright, what up, bitches? Welcome to Mixed Screens.
What up?
Okay, well, if you don't know, I'm Judy.
I'm Erica.
And we're just talking shit.
Yeah, so
Drinking drinks and smoking green.
She's actually lying. She doesn't even have a drink.
I'm drinking water.
Yeah, water.
Actually, I've been drinking so much, and if you follow the show, then yeah.
We've heard.
My pee is yellow,
Sorry.
and so I've decided I'm not going to drink beer until my pee is a decent shade of clearish yellow.
Shade of gray. No, I'm just playing. No. I don't know if you guys hear it, but we have a little background music. A neighbor, but it's fine. It's cool.
Yeah, so my neighbor is cool. She plays like all kinds of different music, like all kinds of different pop music. Like she'll play the cable radio stations.
Oh, okay. So she's getting a plethora of mixed.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. So you'll hear like Cisco Thong Song and then Metallica.
I love that though, kind of, especially if it's still a song I like. Who cares what genre it's in?
Oh yeah, but like I just feel like most of those shows like I would skip, but it's kind of interesting, you know. You get to hear things that music you wouldn't like listen to, and you're like, oh shit, I totally forgot about that song.
Right.
So I mean, it's cool. At least she's not dull, and because she listens to her own music, then
mix it up.
Yeah, I feel like she wouldn't mind some of the music that we listen to based on listening to what she listens to. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, you know how you're in a mood to listen to certain music, right. So I try not to like blast my music up super loud. I mean, sometimes I just can't help it. It's just like, I don't know. In Hawthorne, like growing up, didn't people like play their music loud?
I did.
Yeah.
Well, I was a teen, so of course my neighbor would always like, she would either knock on the wall or come knock on the door and tell me, like, can you please turn it down? And I was like I wasn't disrespectful, but I was kind of a smart ass. So I would, like, when I knew it really wasn't that loud, I just knew you could hear it. I would be like, it's not even that loud. But I would still respect her and everything. But I didn't like that. I didn't like when people told me to turn my music down.
I just try not to even get to that point.
Right. Nowadays, but when you're 16, 17, and you're, like, heavily into music and hip-hop, and not just hip-hop, I was into all kinds of music, so, shit.
I feel like on my block, everybody had their own music that they listened to, and they would, like, bump it loud.
Mm-hmm. And nobody had a problem. That's what's wrong with fucking gentrification.
But also, yeah.
All of a sudden, now you guys are fucking mad. We've been playing this shit loud for years, for 40 years. Now all of a sudden, you guys want your babies are asleep. You should have trained your goddamn babies like we did. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? I don't even know what kind of greens I got, but
what did my label say? Did it say GDP?
Yours. I thought it said. Oh.
GDP?
Oh, Girl Scout cookie.
Oh, yeah. GSC.
Yep. GSC.
Not bad.
Yeah, you know what's funny is how he remembers, like, what he gives you.
Hence, I love ordering, like, okay, I go to, like, the same places at lunch. Or wherever I go. I like when they just know. Like, if I go on the 7-Eleven, he'll just start grabbing my shit. Like, I'm like, no, not today. I had to tell somebody one day, like, dude, I might come in here with a coworker. Don't be grabbing them blunts like that. Like, don't just reach for them blunts like that. Like,
when I come in here with somebody, act like you don't know me.
Right?
You call me auntie.
Don't just assume, you know?
That's hilarious.
But that reminded me, going back to loud music. So the new Cardi B came out on Friday. Mm-hmm. You know, she's all over the place right now.
Yeah.
So, of course, I've been banging it. I like it. It's not... I'm not even going to say what it's not. I like it. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm banging this one song that I don't usually play. And all of a sudden, there was this older Latino guy walking past. He's probably about 75, 78. And all of a sudden, Cardi B just... I don't even remember the line. I just remember she said... And I just suck his dick through his pants or something like that. And he just looked at me in such... Because my window... And I was banging that shit. And that's like the only words that he heard. And I was like... He just looked at me in such disgust, Judy. I was like... It's not my song. I mean, I can say it, but like,
yeah,
damn.
but you're listening to it. Your ears are filthy.
I could just see it on his face. He was so disgusted. Like,
I guess it like that Mexican grandpa, like, they shake their head and
like,
squint their eyes and glare at
you. I could just see the disgust in his face, though. I was embarrassed, even though I didn't say it.
Not only was he disgusted, he was just disappointed.
Mm-hmm. It was more of a disappointed than the disgust.
You! That's funny.
So, okay, how's my week or day or whatever?
Or whatever.
I know, like, I had these 2 crazy ass projects that's due, like, at the end of the month or before the end of the month. I don't know what to do with it. That's due, like, crazy, like, almost impossible missions that are due at the end of this month. And I am kicking it. Like, at first, I only had like a month and a half to 2 months to do the shit. Too crazy shit. I can't even tell you. Anyway, and I'm kicking ass on that shit, and I probably am gonna meet the deadline or whatever. And even my boss was like, "Goddamn!" Not he didn't say "goddamn," but he was just like, "Yeah, good job on completing this much of the project so far, or whatever." Finally. All right. Well, what made you smile? What made you smile this week?
I know something kind of stuck. What?
No, it's okay.
What was good?
I have my day. Shit.
Okay, update on school, I guess. My teacher still has a big dick.
I was going to say your teacher's bulge. Oh, I know what I was going to talk about too. Okay.
He still has a big dick. You can still see it. Mm-hmm. He's been wearing a coat. It's been kind of cold lately, so he's wearing a coat.
But this week it's been hot.
Oh, well, I don't have class this week.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so that's why I got to sneak to the beach on Monday. Mm-hmm. Gotta get my base coat. So
we've been in like the 94s. If that. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
We've been like the 94s.
Yeah, it's been hot here. Mm-hmm. So it's like perfect weather. There was a few people there. Not a lot of people, but a decent amount for Monday. So it was cool. Like, I didn't have school in the morning with big dick teacher. But I did have school. I had class with my negotiating teacher, who I can't tell. He's so skinny, you really can't tell.
Okay.
But he has big feet and like big hands. But
I think I believe big hands more than I believe big feet. Even though they're usually proportionate, but I would believe big hands over big feet.
Okay, I can go with that. Yeah, I can agree with that. Because not all the time does that mean
exactly.
But I can't tell.
I don't
he's
even know
balding, and I just he combs his hair forward, and he tries to make it like messy in the back, and it's just so annoying. I just want to like walk up to him and just like brush my hand over his head, pull his hair back.
Donald Trump his ass.
How far back does that go, sir?
Oh wow!
Like it's really bothering me.
We're gonna call that you want to Donald Trump his ass.
Yeah, I want to Donald Trump him so bad. That sounds naughty.
No, because have you seen that one where Donald Trump was trying to get on that airplane?
Yeah.
And the man was born and his hair just was like
flat. Yeah, like trying to flip over a pancake.
So that reminds me, because that actually was what made me, well, not what made me think of it, but it made me reflect back on your teacher's bulge, is dudes looking at your boobs. And like kind of how I said, at least, like, I can't help looking at dudes' crotch area, so I'm not surprised if dudes can't help looking at boobs, but, like, I have, like, a neighbor, like, 2 neighbors that do that shit all the time, and I don't even have big boobs. Like, dudes just do that shit.
They look at your boobs?
Yeah, and I have small boobs. Don't let you just look at them. Don't be looking at them.
I am not an object.
Judy just tried to sneak a peek. Nah, I'm trying.
Well, maybe they're trying to look for them.
Oh!
Damn! Sorry. I did not.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
You wear such loose, baggy shirts.
Not really. This shit is not. Well, this one is kind of. Yeah.
You always wear loose. And you're wearing a jacket. Today you were wearing 2 jackets.
Yeah, okay.
So you hide them.
You. Don't try to defend your fucking statement.
Well, that's what I meant. So, I don't care. It came out fucked up, but I told you.
You just tried to say that's what you didn't. You said I didn't even mean.
That's what I meant. They're trying to find them because you hide them in layers of clothing.
Fuck you, Judy. At first you tried to clean it up like, I wasn't even trying to say that. Actually, yeah, I was. Thanks. No.
So anyways, I wasn't trying to be an asshole. Sometimes I am.
That reminds me. So I like micheladas. I'm drinking a michelada right now with the Pacifico. That's what I like to put in my micheladas. I don't think I would put anything. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is I bought Dos Equis They are gross. How are you the most interesting man in the world drinking that shit?
The green one or the amber?
The green one.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's the one he mostly advertised.
Yeah, I mean, it's meh. I don't think it's disgusting.
It's so... No, not disgusting. It was so watery. It was like nothing.
Oh, I don't even fuck with that. The Dos Equis Amber, the dark one, yeah, that's bomb. I like it.
Okay.
And I usually when they have the green one, they have the brown one too.
That was great, but I don't think you want a brown one like michelada either, though. The amber one.
Yeah, it's more like for a lager. Okay, so I had bootlegger's beer, Chango, which it means like monkey in Spanish, and it's actually like it's a Mexican style lager, so it's kind of like slang. Anyways, it was pretty good. It totally a Mexican style lager, and actually you might like that with a michelada.
Okay, so what exactly makes it a Mexican style beer? Probably the way it's, and first of all, it probably originated in Mexico, and probably, maybe, hopefully brewed similar, but most likely not still brewed in Mexico, a lot of them. This makes me want to put a lot of beer companies on blast right now. Like, Miller, are you making Pacifico? Like, all these beers you guys are claiming are different, and it's really still you.
Okay, so Mexican style lager. It comes from essentially Vienna in Austria. So, and if you look at Mexican culture and German culture, the dresses are the same. I think I said this before. The accordion, Mexican, we get the accordion from Germans because they built the railroad, and a lot of them immigrated to Mexico.
But that's not what you just said.
Essentially, it's Vienna style lager.
No, but
Mexican style lager is essentially.
But then you said
a Vienna style.
I know, but then you said a place, and that was not in Germany. Okay, go on. I'm sorry.
Okay, so yeah. If I start all over again, do you edit that first one? Do you cut it out?
Yes.
Okay, because I feel like I'm gonna have to start all over again now. Okay, so pay attention.
Okay, no, Judy's in a bad mood, everybody. We'll start right there.
So, Mexican style lager is essentially a beer from Vienna, Austria.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's
not Germany. That's what. Thank you. I was paying attention. That's what I was trying to say.
There you go, interrupting again.
But I'm saying, that was my point.
And I did say Austria again.
Okay.
You're like, no, wait, what did you say?
No, and then you started talking about Germany, and I'm like, wait a minute, you said a whole nother place a second ago.
Oh my god. Okay, so just, anyways, keep up. Jeez.
I am. Watch.
So
I'm gonna run this shit back. I'm gonna run this shit back
stop
for you.
interrupting. So, the cultures are similar, okay? And a lot of Germans and Austrians immigrated to Mexico and stayed here. And so that is where the beer comes from. From the 1800s, it's made its way into, there's no direct lineage because they just came here.
Okay.
And that's essentially where it comes from.
So if I wouldn't have interrupted you, in your conclusion, you would have said the two places, Australia and Germany, both came there. But since you said Australia and moved on to Germany, I was like, what the hell are you talking about? You just said Australia.
Why, if you want to linger on logistics, I did say Austria and Germany, and then I was like, yes, if you look at Germany, we get the accordion from them, and then you're like, wait, what, Germany? Yes, sorry, I just was talking about German culture.
Yeah, you jumped.
Because it's a German style and Vienna style lager.
I want to let the audience decide if you fucked me on that one.
Well, you'll find out when you're editing, anyways.
I'm gonna make a special clip and send it to you. Like, see? So I'm talking about.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Please
So
let
that's
us
where
put-
Mexican lager comes from. It comes from Germany and Australian based.
Austrian.
That's two different places. Austria and Australia are two different places.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I've been talking about Austria this whole time.
Alright. Shit.
What
Anyway,
you heard.
that brings me to. I was listening to a podcast today, and I don't want to talk about therapy, but I just want to talk about. It was a therapy podcast, and it was very interesting. There were two black ladies, and they were talking about how it's important for, like, for instance, Latinos to, like, write their own books on psychiatry, and for African Americans to write their own books on psychiatry, because when you're being taught as a psychiatrist, or when you're learning these things as a therapist, you're learning from the white man's book. And so they're coming from the perspective of a white person, whereas black people, their perspectives are different, their emotions are different, their reactions are different, and perceptions of them are different also. So the psychology of them also have to be written different. So it was like, the best example that they gave was like, oh, when I get excited, the theme of it was angry black women. How we're always perceived as being an angry black woman. And it was like, we get loud. Like, okay, when we're talking about something passionate, we might get loud about it. It doesn't mean I'm mad. It just means I'm, getting loud, or maybe trying to overtalk you or something. And that's just maybe our culture, or, you know what I'm saying? It's just something. So if
I'm
you're
not yelling.
So, like, they were talking about anger management. So when it comes to anger management, you have to address that differently, because you're taking me as being angry just because I got loud when I got passionate about something, when really I wasn't angry. I was just passionate. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe, like, the same psychology of, like, how a Latino child was raised, or how their family has always treated. I mean, I don't know. Just, like, certain psychologies growing up Latino have to be addressed differently than these fucking books that are just set up.
Yeah.
Not for me. They're not for you. They're not. I don't know. They're not for us.
Yeah. It was like more like their research on us.
Dude. Oh my God. I watched this shit. What the fuck was that on? It was about, I think it was 2020. They did this study to these, I guess it was probably in the 70s. They did these studies where they purposely separated twins and triplets at birth into adopted families. Sometimes the adopted families, most times the adopted parents didn't even know. And now they're finding each other all these years later. And they were studying and researching these kids the whole goddamn time.
Yeah.
That shit was fucked up.
Like those kids were like lab experiments.
Yes. Lab rats.
Yeah, like the Truman Show.
At the expense, though. At the expense of their entire fucking lives. And their entire identities. Like, and it wasn't even like siblings. It was twins. And I don't know, like, I kind of had that experience, but it's completely different in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have siblings I never met until I was fucking 37. Just met the motherfuckers for the first time. That's weird as fuck. And it's weird to, like, see that. And it's like 5 of them. Oh my God, you look like me. Your voice is like mine, or something. Or like, we both like or similar, or like the same things, or like laugh the same, or like, I don't know. It's so weird. It's fucked up. And then the fucked up thing is we don't even have that sibling thing that you can't even rebuild over 30 years. You can't even get that back. You can't get that back.
No. Yeah, you're right. Can't.
It's easy to let go. It's like, all right, cool, I met you. All right, peace. I mean, that's not like what's in my heart, but that is easy to do, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened.
And
I would say not so much. I'm not gonna put more weight on anything. I'm not gonna put more weight. But yeah, that was messed up. I don't know. I wish I had my little clips on that one too, because that was unimaginable. Like,
there's so many unimaginable tests that they do or have done. It's nuts.
When you look at that, that just seems like the surface. Like, that just seems lightweight compared to what they really could have been doing. That wasn't even the CIA. That was just regular ass scientists. You know, that wasn't like the government.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like, you know.
Yeah, it's like crazy how they can like get away with doing that, isn't it? Like, nothing happened to the scientists. Nothing happened to the corporation that funded the study. Like, that's what's nuts.
I can't recall that as a fact. If nothing happened.
Well,
something should have. Oh! I think one of the main guys, he died. Like, the main dude that was leading the study, he died.
Oh, they mysteriously die.
No, I don't think so. I think he just got lucky and died because he was about to catch the shit.
Like, killed himself.
Probably. Yeah, that's more like it. Because he was about to catch the shit.
Ugh, that's nuts. So you wanted to talk about children in prison?
Damn, I was about to say, do you have anything fun?
Anything fun? I'm planning a vacation. 2 vacations coming up in a couple weeks. I'm going to San Francisco and Cabo. So stoked on both of those.
And
which is why I hit the beach on Monday to get my base coat for Cabo.
Your basic coat.
My base coat.
We don't use words like that over here. No, I'm just playing. My mom does. Like, my mom loves tanning, but my mom's a little lighter. My mom gets so sunburned. I have, or I peeled, but I've never.
Well, I'm not trying to. Okay, well, you have to have a base coat. You have to go in the sun for a little bit. Otherwise, if you just go out in the sun.
Then you burn.
Yeah, you're going to burn. So, go safely, of course.
You got to baste. You baste yourself.
Yes. So, you get a nice little light coat. Your body's like, oh, hello. Okay, it's summertime. We got to, like a chameleon. Like, we got to start getting ready. Okay. So, then when I go again, hopefully on Friday, knock on wood, it's supposed to be hot again, then I can go for a little bit longer, or I can go I should just go about the same time.
Yeah.
I was just there for like an hour and a half, just chilling anyways. So, just go hit that up again, and then it'll really set in the base. You know, you gotta apply 2 coats of that base coat.
Wait, I was about to say, my mom used to put that suntan oil on too.
No, I don't do that.
My mom, but that was back.
Well, I put on like oil like before, and it kind of has SPF in it anyway, so.
She used to go to the Long Beach Jazz Festival and
that's
come back
so funny.
fucked up.
Ooh. Yeah, no, I am not about that sunburn life, so I wear a hat, I dress accordingly. So Pinterest, what's this deal with Pinterest?
That could be any fucking time, but I'm already over it. I just like got super deep into Pinterest, and then but for cooking shit, and I was literally cooking like all kinds of Pinterest dishes and shit.
That's so funny.
Bomb ass shit though.
Were your kids stoked? Was your family stoked?
I mean, I just no, because I cook pretty good all the time, so it was just different.
Trying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Stoked on like the.
I wasn't stoked. I mean,
okay, we get it. You're a good cook. We get you're a good cook. So it was no surprise that you made some bomb dishes.
No,
okay, we get it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like sometimes like kids.
It's exciting to get something different, but
either they love it or they hate it. They're like, oh, this is different.
No, they liked it because I made like a batch, and it like I was going on like freezer dishes, like something I could freeze and like to take out, thaw, and like just So like I was making like
meal prepping.
Yeah. No, not really. Like I was making 2 batches, so I was like making one batch for the night and then freezing another batch for like next week or so same thing but next week or whatever. So I did that a few times. I don't know, that's cool.
All right.
I tried to make some cookies, fuck that up.
I love Pinterest. I go on there for everything.
Oh, good. See?
Yeah, recipes, outfits, like sometimes, like, you know, when you have to go somewhere and you're just like, oh, like, I have all these clothes and I just don't know what to wear. So then I'll just, like, go on Pinterest and, like, okay, I want to wear these khaki pants, but I just don't know what to wear with it.
For real?
Yeah, so then I'll just go on Pinterest and type in khaki pants and it'll, like, boom, all this, like, oh, okay, now I'm going to wear tennies, or I'm going to wear heels, and wear wedges, okay, where am I going? Okay. Boom, and like it just like motivates me to like pick out my own.
Oh, okay. I never even thought of that. Like a couple years ago, my Pinterest desires were like, "You're never gonna believe this, Judy." So I got into beading. So I was making like all kinds of necklaces and bracelets out of like little tiny ass beads. But then I went crazy. Like I was buying all kinds of beads.
Dang.
I spent like. Probably total $500 on beads. Like total, I got a gang of beads. We could have a beading party tomorrow if we want to. Like,
I don't have the attention span for beading.
So yeah, but it was so like it was actually really therapeutic. Like, just sitting there, like you have to pay attention. Like, I don't know, playing music, whatever. But you just really and so I was getting my.
That'd be dope.
I was about to say recipes. I was getting my patterns from Pinterest, like on how to make like cool ass.
Sweet.
I was making dope ass. I was like making bracelets that look like daisy, like one daisy, then another daisy. All the man, I was kind of, but they were not sloppy, but not professional. Like I couldn't sell it on Etsy or nothing, but I was proud. Like, damn, look at my watch. I'm gonna show you my shit, like. And then my mom was into it too. I was buying books. I was out of my mind with that shit, but
you don't want to do henna. Like I've had it before. The girls love it, and I was like, man, I just need to get it and do it myself at home. Like it's so easy.
Oh, I was about to say, can you?
Yeah, you just have like there's either you buy like the paste, like the clay, already. In a tube or in a jar, you put it in a bag, or you buy the powder.
And then then use a stencil? Because I was gonna say you're gonna have to know how to draw too.
Yeah, well, if you can draw it on paper, then I'm sure you can.
Or just print it out.
Well, I was thinking, like if I could draw these on paper, I'm sure I could draw it on a hand. You know.
Well, I can't draw. I guess that's my.
Well, I'm not a good drawer, but henna, I'm good at lines.
Okay.
It's just like a bunch of lines, basic, you know.
17 now. When I first got locked up, that's what you meant? Yes, sir. So I was 12. Then just since 12 to 17 now, like 8, 9 times. I missed the last 3 Christmases just being locked up on Christmas. I won't. Like just on Christmas. I'm always locked up on Christmas, so.
I was 15 years old. Just like 5 years before I believed in Santa Claus. Like, I mean, I'm going on 3 years. But and I got 50 more, to be honest. I got 50 more years to do. So it ain't. Yeah, I got a while left. But I'm gonna try to turn it around. I'm gonna find a way to turn it around somehow.
God, that is awful. That is so like I can't even.
No. So that, I mean, you can stop if you want. That's the first thing I was gonna bring up is like kids coming in at like the age of 14, 15, getting charged as adults, and they're usually minority kids. I don't know the statistics right now of non-minority kids that are getting charged as adult, but I know we are at a high rate, and these kids are saying they're getting 50 years, 33 years.
It's
And it's like, we've seen this. I'm sorry. Like, I figure we're gonna have to cry on some kind of episode. Like,
it's just like when you grow up like in that system and you have no options. Like, you just keep going back. Like, the environment that put you in the position, like, put you where you are, that's where you just keep getting put back. You don't have zero resources. Like, jail is supposed to rehabilitate you. You know, you
I mean, that's what they keep telling us, but it doesn't, and it's not.
Yeah.
We should stop. We should stop saying that it's supposed to rehabilitate
50
us.
years, and the thing is, like, actually, like, seeing this, like, visiting cousins in detention centers and then prison, like, it's just crazy, and it's just worse and worse. Like, 50 years. 50 years, come on. Like, how old is he? What the fuck did he do? And
murder.
Even okay, so even if he did murder somebody, okay, what good is he doing to society, like, to stay? Like, do you can obviously, like, you can tell that if he shows signs of remorse, he was a kid, like, who knows what the circumstances were that led him to murdering somebody.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. Like, okay, so I had a friend that would say, like, growing up, we always see homeless people, and we grew up in the same hood, like, down the street, and she would always be like, I don't feel bad for homeless people because I grew up in the hood, and they had the same chances as me, so that's their choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, like, wow, that is so messed up, because I had uncles who had friends that were kicked out, like, right when they were 18.
Right.
And they're, like, drug addicts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he's like, yeah, like, they came home, like, he lived with us, and then my family has always had people living with them.
Okay.
I even grew up with people living with me.
Mm-hmm.
So, not everybody has the same. This girl, yes, she did grow up in the same neighborhood, but she was the youngest of, like, 5, and her brothers and sisters were a lot older than her,
mm-hmm.
and some of them were college educated and, like, well off. So it's like they helped her a lot. She had her own car and so much independence.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's like,
you didn't have those type of problems, homegirl.
Yeah. Right. Yes.
And we all know, like,
you were
just
not
because
kicked out
your
at
parents
18.
have decent jobs, that doesn't mean you get to move out the hood. Because, like you said, she has older brothers and sisters that are in college, which means you don't get to move out the hood. Because what parents do is they work hard as fuck to put their kids through college, especially if they didn't get to do it, or even more so if they did it. So, of course. Not of course.
So, yeah, like, bottom line is, like, not everybody has the same chances. Okay, so now I feel like people are starting to realize that. But he says, like, it's okay. It's one thing to, like, recognize that, yes, it is an issue, but it's also another thing to just, like, sit there and do nothing about it. It's so frustrating. Like, the cycle has just gotten worse and worse. Like, when over the decades, sentences have increased. Have increased, mm-hmm. and age has lowered, and the amount of crimes, amount of children tried as adults has skyrocketed. Like, this is clearly, it's like some sort of, like, morbid farming institution. It's nuts. Like, what? Why would you want to do that? Like, in order to, like, okay, they committed the crime, like, you've got to fix in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not going to fix the community and give them resources, then of course you're going to keep having this cycle. So far too often we look at the end cause instead of like, how did we get here? It's the community, the environment. Like, we have so much, like you said, gentrification. We have all these people like living. It's almost kind of disgusting how you see some posts like on Instagram. There'll be parties at art warehouses or just spaces in LA, and it'll say, be careful, lock your cars because there's lots of homeless in the neighborhood. And it's like, wow, like that's so crass. Like
I was gonna go back to a point that you were making earlier about like resources, and I'm like, but at this point the resources have to go to the children and to the families at this point, because it's the parents who are initially having problems in the first place, and now they have kids. Because I hate to always say the crack era, but I'm looking at like parents that are like 40, 50 years old at this point, 60 years old, 40 to 60, and they have fucking issues going back from the 80s, and they've now raised these children with these same issues. Even worse, these kids are bold as fuck. They gangbang harder than their parents did. This shit is crazy as fuck.
Yes, like that's how you show you have to show your love and loyalty, so you have to do it harder.
And your parents kind of like taught you that. Like your parents, not everybody's parents, like a lot of parents that live that kind of life, they ingrain that same lifestyle on their children. So it's like you not only have to help these kids, you got to help their parents as well.
Yes, and so that's the thing. Yes, exactly. That's sorry if I interrupted you.
Yeah, but
that's the thing is like this guy. Like, how do you know? Like he's just a victim of his circumstance. Like, on my block, the same
brother.
show. Like, yes, like that. That's the thing that's like, that bothers me is that like it's so real. Like it's not just some show. Like it really happens, and so like that character that you like on this show, imagine that character now he's saying, I'm sentenced to 50 years. Like, you know, and it's like,
right.
oh
that
man,
kid,
he had this bright future.
Had he gone through with what his brother was forcing him to do.
Yeah, because you're taught that you have no options, and it's like, what,
peer pressure.
Yes, and so then you mix with this.
That's even worse than peer pressure. That's like your blood. That's
some people want to be criminals.
That's your family telling you to do that shit.
Yes. So
how are you not gonna listen to your big brother?
And how are you not gonna think that that's not normal if that's all that you know?
Right.
If you only
did it. Theo told me to do it. I don't know why I said that, but like for real, like on the real.
Yeah, like when you don't have a lot of money, you can't go a lot of places. So you only know your area, and if you only know your area and you watch TV and these people are just like crazy celebrities, you think that that's unattainable. So you think that like this is all like, oh, they're just two different worlds.
A lot of these kids talk about that. Like they ask like, who'd you look up to? Did you have any doctors? Did you have anybody to look up to? No, all I had was gangsters to look up to. All I had was dope dealers to look up to. All I had was killers to look up to. Pimps to look up to. That's it.
Yeah.
I want to be like them. They seem to be doing just fine around here. It seems to be popping for them.
Yeah.
So that's why I aspire to be.
Yeah.
And they dropped out of high school. And they went to jail. And they got shot.
Yep.
They got away with that bank robbery. They killed somebody before. All these things are like glorifying to these kids.
And it's in the music that you listen to. All that shit. It's perpetuated, and it's like marketed to. Now we know we should get 2. So
yeah, and then turn the second one on after an hour.
I don't know. I just feel like it's the system is set up. It's rigged from the get-go. And like you said, the guy kind of hit it on the head. If you want to figure out what to do about men in prison, like, you have to look at the youth, look at the children in prison, and then look at where they're coming from. Like, they have nothing. Like, it's easy to judge, but when you actually see, like, kids that have nothing, then they know nothing but what's around them. And it's sad. Like, yeah, they make poor choices and they get what they get and they want to be assholes. Like, they still want to be ignorant, you know, probably because also they're in jail and there's like a whole game you got to play. You got to be hard in jail too, so you can't go be like, oh yeah, man, I feel really bad, because then he's gonna get punked in jail.
Right. Can I play some more clips?
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe talking to you could edit like most of what I say out if you want. If it's too long.
Don't worry. Sorry, excuse me. Micheladas.
I do feel like I'm talking too much.
It's okay. No. Don't ever.
Was they were kids.
Wait, did I miss it?
There are no violent offenses that are juvenile. You shoot somebody, you're an adult.
Recent statistics, they indicate violent crime is declining nationwide, but it's rising among young people.
They should be caged like wild animals because that's what they are. If I had my way, I'd borrow the Ringling Brothers' cages and cage these drug pushers and exhibit them so the kids can see scum.
That's a black man saying that shit.
Epidemic questions.
They are
Yeah, I
not
was like,
just
where's the white guy
gangs of
at?
kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators.
This is
No
real.
conscience, no
Yes.
empathy.
And that's where it fucking started. Hillary, it started in the Clinton. Well, I mean, it did.
Wait, let this shit play, and then.
And to seek authority to prosecute as adults teenagers who maim and kill like adults.
Fucking assholes.
I think that was that.
Yep. Oh my god.
So I just wanted to play those fucking politicians just pretty much saying if they want to act like animals, we're going to treat them like animals. We don't give a fuck how old they are. But
the first thing is, like,
the truth behind it is you guys aren't talking about white suburban kids. You guys are talking
that
about
way.
urban
They're
children.
not talking about that. Yeah. And it.
Because if you were talking about some white suburban kid, you would have been talking about mental illness and shit.
Yeah. Yes. That now, well, that's the difference. Is them? It's a it's a criminal thing, but now that's happening to white kids. It's an epidemic.
A drug epidemic.
Yes, it's an epidemic.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Everybody's just lazy drug addicts there, but over here it's like, oh no, they
There's
need
a
therapy.
serious problem. We've
Yeah.
got to do something. We've got to put
it's happening to the white
systems
kids
in place. We have to set up programs. And meanwhile, crack happened. Meanwhile, meth happened.
and is happening. And that's another thing.
Even though
is
meth
that
hit
it's
y'all
like-
too. But y'all really wasn't worried about meth because y'all thought it was all poor white trash. That's why y'all were running tripping off of that shit. So it started migrating. But now your little Oxycontin, it was fine when it was Oxycontin, but now they can't get the little Oxycontin, so they moved to actual heroin, and they still living in Bixby Knolls, and y'all over here hot than the motherfucker. That's the goddamn problem.
Yeah.
They over here crashing into your little fence you just built.
It's coming. It's coming to suburbia. It's getting so big. And then, like, we keep saying, like, with the gentrification of the cities, then...
You guys are bringing your drugs into our communities at this point. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Well, see, and that's the thing. It's like, that's where it's going to go. Like, in the cities, people are literally living in tents on the curb. Like, it's not going to happen very much longer. And where are they going to go? They're going to go to the suburban home area. They're going to go to the parks and start squatting there.
They already did.
So, yeah. You can't ignore it anymore. And you really have to look at the system. Like, and you can't just think right now, like, oh, Obama this or Trump that. Like, what has been happening? What happened 30 years ago? Like I said, don't just look at the end result, like the kids now. Like, what happened to them when they were kids
and
when
also
they were being raised.
Don't just think
turns
it's
out
okay to do this to the urban kids or the urban people, and now all of a sudden it's trickling into your shit, and now it's a damn problem. But you guys didn't worry about it or care, think it's a problem, do anything to fix it. Now all of a sudden.
I don't know. It sucks all the way around. Like I just hate seeing that shit because it's like nobody is helping kids on the street right now. Nobody is helping them stay on the right path.
For Judge Denise Cubbin, sentencing teens like Eric to juvenile prison is a method of last resort. She's presided over this juvenile court for 13 years and has seen firsthand how incarcerating kids not only fails to reduce crime, it has set up generations of young people for a lifetime of failure.
The thought for years was that incarceration would rehabilitate people, but that's not the case. We were sending kids to the Department of Youth Services, that's kids' prison, by leaps and bounds. And they would come home, and what would they do? What they know best: continue to commit offenses because they became unemployable. They perhaps didn't have education to rely on. The reality is we lost a population of young kids. And to what? Our crime rates were continuing to rise. Things weren't any better. If anything, they may have been worse.
With over 850,000 juvenile arrests a year and 48,000 kids sitting in lockup daily, the U.S. has the highest incarceration rate of kids on earth. And once these young people are sentenced to juvenile facilities, they've been found to be 38 times more likely to reoffend as adults. For many incarcerated people across the country, their troubles with crime, violence in the system, started when they were young. The arrest rates for many crimes, like murder, robbery, and car theft, peak in late teenage years, and then begin to fall drastically. Dr. Larry Steinberg is a leading psychologist in analyzing juvenile crimes, and what he has found is that this phenomenon is directly connected to adolescent brain development.
So Larry, why do you think we have one of the largest juvenile justice problems in all of the developed countries in the world?
I think there are a couple of reasons. One is that we criminalize normal adolescent behavior. You know, adolescence is a time when kids do a lot of risky and reckless things. There's a part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex that's really important for self-control and anticipating the future consequences of your decisions. This brain system isn't completely mature until people are in their early 20s.
Yes.
We know that teenagers already have an easily aroused reward system in their brain. They're more likely to get angry at that age. You're more likely to feel threatened at that age. And we're now understanding that there's this mismatch between this easily aroused part of the brain and a still immature part of your brain. We like to say it's a time when the accelerator is pressed down to the floor, but there's not a good braking system in place. And that's what adolescence is like. We can't reform criminal justice without reforming juvenile justice, because there's almost nobody who's locked up in prison
as an adult
who wasn't doing
something stupid when they were young.
Nobody is saying that we should excuse criminal behavior.
No, sir. Not at all.
But we need to respond in ways that are going to help that person return to the community in a better place.
Like in Judge Cubbin's district in Toledo, they are reducing the incarceration numbers by placing each kid in a program that best suits their individuals.
Okay, and I really want to get to this one part that is super fucking interesting as hell before we start talking about her mishaps.
This is grandma house. This is maximum security for women.
Women that come in for like the most heinous crimes.
Yeah.
All on this facility.
Yeah.
And they put you here as a 15-year-old girl.
15.
Felicia Pearson is probably best known as Snoop, one of my co-stars on The Wire. Before Felicia's career in TV, she served time in a maximum security prison for second-degree murder.
What's going through your mind at 15 years old walking?
Like, how the hell I get in this house? Like, how the hell I get in here? I'm thinking that I gotta go to war as soon as I come in here, because I'm locked up in here with adults. It ain't no place that a child's supposed to grow up.
Felicia's troubles began early in life. She was born to a crack-addicted mother and was raised by foster parents in East Baltimore.
That's the part about how you saying, like, you don't know what they gonna become. Like, okay, she spent her time in jail. Please rehabilitate her and see what she's able to do.
Mm-hmm.
She made a mistake as a child.
Yes.
When her frontal cerebral cortex wasn't developed. So fuck.
Her brain was developing. It wasn't even grown up yet. Especially when you're influenced by other grown-ups.
Mm-hmm. Like, how'd she get a gun?
So, you said she sentenced somebody else to prison? Some other kids to prison?
No, she lit them off.
Actually,
wait, hold on.
Oh, she let them off?
Mm-hmm. You basically told me that pretty much everyone you've ever had to look up to in this community, either, with gangsters, did time, what effect did that have on you mentally?
It had a lot. I looked up to him.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the right way. Our youth now most definitely need people like big homies, mentors. Kids now, they look at you and be like, well, if you've never been locked up, how can you tell me anything? If you haven't been down this road, you can't tell me shit.
Using reformed
offenders as mentors has actually proven to be one of the most effective ways of reaching our at-risk youth, as evidenced by an innovative mentorship program in what was once one of America's most dangerous places, Richmond, California.
The CHP is working closely with Richmond police after a rash of recent highway shootings.
5 bullets came from a white Mazda.
A brother and sister shot to death in Richmond.
A man and woman were shot and killed in North Richmond last night.
The violence in Richmond was so bad, the city decided to do something radical to reach out directly to potential violent offenders.
A controversial program is actually paying people not to shoot each other.
The Office of Neighborhood Safety is a government agency with one single focus: reduce firearm assaults and associated injury and or death.
How did you start to do that?
In 2009, the city saw 45 firearm-related homicides and more than 180 non-fatal shootings. And we determined that there were actually 28 people responsible for 70% of that 2009 activity. That was an aha moment for me. We can wrap our arms around that.
Yeah.
Like many cities, we were focused on what are known or called hot spots. Spots where things happen. But I thought it'd be smarter to appreciate that hot spots are hot because of hot people. So rather than focus on a location, focus on helping people. You've got to know who's perpetrating that gunfire. And you've got to be willing to partner with them. And so I asked the city manager if he would allow me to create a classification called Neighborhood Change Agent. Someone who's not only been incarcerated in his or her past, but someone who has a gun charge in his or her past.
Change agents recruit kids to enroll in an 18-month fellowship where they are steered towards a better way of life.
What made you want to be a part of this program?
Everything I did on the inside was telling me I need to work with people. This is definitely something like I was meant to be a part of. Our job is to target those young men who solve their conflicts with guns. We in the streets every day. We meet them in their hoods, and we engage them. We try to build a relationship and hopefully show them different ways to solve conflicts.
Once the fellows respond to the program for 6 months, they help them form a life map, and they start to get paid.
Why not incentivize a life map? After 6 months of positive, healthy participation levels, they become eligible to earn up to $1,000 a month for 9 of the remaining 12 months of the fellowship. So we're talking about up to $9,000 over 18-month period. Do you know the cost to incarcerate a violent youth offender in the state of California per year? Over $200,000 a year per inmate.
Per inmate.
Average stay, 3 to 5 years. You do the math.
And with an annual budget of only $980,000, ONS has helped drive the annual homicides in Richmond down by 70% since it started. This success has opened up a pathway for the young men in the program to pursue pursue gainful employment.
So I'm gonna just say my bullets real quick. Kids coming in at 15, getting 50 plus years, charging children as adults. There happened to be some white kid, but my husband said he wasn't white, but he looked white to me, that they blurred his fucking face out, and they were super lenient with him. They had him in the office. They were talking all nice, telling him, "Oh, we don't want this to be on your record," even though he didn't really do nothing that super bad.
He was white.
But they were so sensitive with him and shit. He's the only one they blurred his face. Then it said, like, kids that enter the system at a young age are likely to return a few years later. Using previous offenders is a good deterrent. I can't see barely because of the lighting now. Is a good deterrent for their mentorship problem. Then the Richmond, California experiment where they paid people up to $1,000 a month up to 9 months, so $9,000 per month, to be good basically, and to pretty much to steer your life in the right direction.
That's for a year and a half. So for a year and a half it costs that much, and for 1 year it costs $200. For a year and a half it was
right
18 or 19.
No, they were gonna pay up to 9 months, so up to $9,000. But over 1 year to house the same juvenile was $200,000 a year, and their average stay would be 3 years.
Oh my god! And that's the reason why they're committing these crimes. It's like over money. They're poor. They don't have any money. And they also have nothing left to lose.
And also they don't have any inspiration either. Like some of those kids said, like, I don't know no lawyers. I don't know no doctors. I don't know no engineers. I know dope dealers. And they look good around here. Just like the lawyers and the doctors look good in your neighborhood. I mean, in that, you can even take that up a level. You don't have to even use like super poverty level. Like, if you don't see your parents or if you don't see your family doing certain things, how are you gonna know to do something differently? Yeah, that's almost even like shit. If you're a man and you see your daddy abusing your mama, you might do the same thing too. I don't know. That's maybe extreme. I don't know, but.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, with the tests that they have, like on DNA, and you are susceptible to committing like certain crimes, and
like if your dad committed suicide, you're susceptible to that shit too.
Yeah, just like how I was talking about that experiment they did on the mice and the cherry blossom,
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So. Very similar.
Shit is ingrained into your DNA.
Yeah, you just have to be strong enough to fight it, and not everybody is as strong. And unfortunately, there's not enough options. But thankfully, and that's like through this situation. That's awesome that they're doing that. That. If only like more cities, like they can use that as an example, like for unity. It's like we just keep talking about crimes and stuff. Like, let's talk about this, like programs that actually work. It's just unfortunate all the way around.
And Richmond, to note, at some point was like the crime. What do they call it? The crime capital or something of the U.S. Richmond was like
or California.
Of the U.S. Richmond. California was like the crime. What do they call that? It's a word, the crime capital or something.
I don't know. I wasn't kind of paying attention that much, but yeah. Dang,
it was bad.
So yeah, I don't know. It sucks, but thankfully, like I don't know. Like I keep saying, is I'm optimistic. I think everything will work out eventually. We'll see. Just keep spreading the good word. So, anyways, also, okay, speaking of kids, and we're talking about gentrification and stuff, like, I just want to end my note on this, like,
okay.
dear, like, I guess, Dear White People.
Oh, yes. That is a segment. You know that's a segment. I already have a song. You don't even know.
Oh, my gosh. That's
Dear White People. The beat is so corny. It's like...
Shut the fuck up, white people. Shut the fuck up. Anything that belongs to us. Shut the fuck up, white people. Don't touch my fucking hair. Shut the fuck up, white people. Shut the, I know all lives matter. Shut the fuck up, white people. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, white people. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, white people. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, white people. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, white people. Shut the fuck up.
Is that like trademarked or something? Like, can we even say that?
No, yeah, because there's a whole TV series and
Dear
everything.
white people.
Mm-hmm.
White peoples. White peoples. Stop taking your kids to fucking bars.
You already did that last week.
Oh, I did? Okay. Good. Okay, good.
I'm sure you got another Dear White People.
I don't know.
But yeah, you did. I didn't realize that was a Dear White People. If I knew.
Oh, okay. You know
no, because you said there was even a Latina. You said there was a Latina girl that did the shit too.
Oh yeah. So yeah, you're right. So anyways, well, I guess we have something that now that I think about it, directly relates to this. The program that we were just talking about in jail again. The Nas and his album. Did you hear like his statement? About unity.
When did he present this?
He had an Instagram post or Twitter or something.
I'm sorry, I put it out a long time ago.
And, no, it's fine. And essentially he was saying, like, Jack White and...
Oh, yeah.
Did I tell you? Did we talk about this too? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I was like, did I already talk about this too?
God, Judy, if you would listen to the show, then you fucking know.
I know, you're right. You know, and I feel like I'm glad I don't want to talk about it because I don't feel like talking about it anymore, and that's why.
Okay, so I have a dream catcher anyway.
Okay, well,
dreams. It's fucking crazy. So, I didn't have one dream. I had multiple.
Oh, a series?
Multiple,
like over
multiple.
Like in one night or over days?
Mostly in one night, but like
oh my God.
Maybe like one in another day.
Okay.
I did have a pen because I want to write it down so you don't forget like all the parts.
So
to
you
it.
don't forget.
Yeah, and so I can remember. So you don't forget, and so I can remember. That's gonna be the name of the damn. Whatever. Okay. Anyway, so one is we got our backyard. We had a big old tree in my backyard. This is real life. We had a big old tree in my backyard, and the management company removed it and replaced all the dirt with cement. So now we have a full concrete back patio, which we're very happy about.
Wait, the grass?
It was a tree, and it was like a problem. Like every time I barbecued, remember I told you the sparrows attacked me?
Oh yeah.
And fucking the sparrows weren't there anymore, but every time I barbecue, spiders drop down, and I gotta like light that shit, get in the house real quick, let the spiders drop down, and then come out. Like it's some bullshit. So I'm glad they got rid of it. Now I have a nice patio. Like cool.
Yeah.
That shit because they tried to charge me to trim it.
What?
This is y'all tree. I'll burn this motherfucker down on my goddamn barbecue pit. Nah. But anyway.
Make it look like an accident.
So they were working on that. They had to take down the fence, put back the fence. So I had a dream that they put a mailbox in the brick. Like, this is on the side. I had a dream they put a mailbox. So, mailbox. That doesn't make any sense.
You're gonna get a message?
So they put a mailbox on the side. Like, that's a walkway to, like, the neighbors. So I had a dream they put a mailbox. I actually got up in the morning and looked like, did they really put a fucking mailbox back here? But no. That's one of them dreams I was like, had to look like, okay. Oh.
What else?
Okay, this makes no sense. And this is really dumb. There was a wrench just hanging somewhere. And that was another one I went and looked for. Like, where the fuck was there a wrench? Like, there was just a wrench. That's just a dream.
Oh, and did you, like, pick it up? Or was it just there?
It was just there. It seemed like it was just, like, hanging on off a drawer somehow. Like, maybe it was the kind of wrench that you know, the ones you can screw tight.
Okay.
Damn, I can't even think now. I should have wrote them all down. I can't even think right now. That's something. It was just, it was some shit with my fucking boss. What the fuck was that one? The wrench, my boss one. This was on the same night. What the fuck did my boss? It wasn't bad about him. I can't. Damn, what the fuck was that shit? I don't even remember.
Yeah, man, me neither.
Oh well. Goddamn, fuck this part. All of it's going. If I can remember the whole part, like at least 2 more of them, because it was a lot. Different dreams. It was a lot of different, small, like dumb, like a wrench, a mailbox. Like we put them all together, like
It was a butler.
Alright.
Yeah.
Damn, Judy.
I get to work in a gallery tomorrow, so I'm stoked on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of gallery?
An art gallery. There's a few like installations. They're super cool. And I get to just sit in their gallery and tell people about the art if they want to talk about it. It's a very nice view. It's like and the art is cool looking. So
is it in Long Beach?
Yes. It's just like kind of lonely sometimes. Like there's not like a whole lot of people trying to go to an art gallery. It's also like right next to the police station. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to my vacations. I can't wait to take a vacation and start somewhere. I'm so glad that the weather has warmed up. I feel much better.
I take like sun and heat over cold.
6 more weeks of school. Yes, it's gonna be windy tomorrow, which, yeah, whatever. Blase.
It was a decent little breeze today.
It's gonna be very nice. I get to go to a birthday party at the Bay, and that will be very fun.
All right.
So thank you for listening. I hope you have lots of fun on your days to come. Until next time, I'm Judy.
I'm Erica.
And
thank you very much. Oh, you need to know where to find us all at and everything, which Judy should have memorized by now.
Right. Our website is mixedgreens.com.
Our website is mixedgreenspodcast.com.
Man, I'm high. Our website is mixedgreenspodcast.com. Our Twitter is @mixedgreenspod. And Instagram, iTunes, Spotify, Libsyn, Twitcher. No, not Twitcher. All of that other stuff.
Everything but Twitcher.
@mixedgreenspodcast. So thank you for listening. Show some love. If you listen to our podcast, if you like it, let us know. If you don't, let us know. But please leave a comment and subscribe, and we will appreciate it. And if you subscribe and want some free stuff, send us an email, and we'll hook you up. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Mixed greens, don't judge me. It's not what it seems. Mixed greens, mixed greens.